Askreddit thread. What was the first time experience that was also a last time for you? Trying to impress my crush with drinking. She was more disgusted than impressed, and I was feeling worse than I imagined. All of my butterflies flew out over the toilet. Oh god, I did the same exact thing when I was 19 or 20. I was blackout drunk and I'd forgotten it, until now. Jumping into a small, but deep, fast-flowing river in North Wales in winter, I thought, oh, what fun. Aren't I wild and crazy? And then froze immediately. I couldn't lift my arms or kick, and the river swept me downstream. Luckily, I was young enough to fight. There's a small, angry river out there plotting its revenge. The river's name? John Cena! Sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. I only bought them because the Amazon reviews are fucking hilarious and I needed to see for myself. Yeah, don't buy it. From one of the reviews, I'd rather take my chance with real bears. My guts are making a noise like a cross between Skrillex tracks and a herd of cattle being boiled alive. My favorite review. Oh man, words cannot express what happened to me after eating these. The gummy bear cleanse. If you are someone that can tolerate the sugar substitute, enjoy. If you're like the dozens of people that tried my order, run. First of all, for taste, I would rate these a good 5. So good, soft, true to taste fruit flavors like the sugar variety. I was a happy camper. But, or should I say, not long after eating about 20 of these, all hell broke loose. I had gastronomical experience like nothing you'd ever imagine. Cramps, sweating, bloating beyond my worst nightmares. I've had food poisoning from some bad shellfish, and that was almost like a skip in the park compared to what was going on inside me. Then came the flatulence. Heavens, Mary go Troid. The sounds. Like trumpets calling the demons back to hell. The stench, like 1,000 rotten corpses vomited. I couldn't stand to stay in one room for fear of succumbing to my own odors. But wait, there's more. What came out of me felt like someone tried to funnel Niagara Falls through a coffee straw. I swear, my sphincters were screaming. It felt like my delicate starfish was gaping maw project vomiting in torrential flood of toxic waste. 100% liquid, flammable liquid, napalm. It was actually a bit humorous for a nanosecond, as it was just beyond anything I could imagine, and it went on for hours. I felt violated when it was over, which I think might have been sometime in the early morning of the next day. There was stuff coming out of me that I ate at my wedding in 2005. I have 5 pounds of these innocent-looking, delicious-tasting hell bears, so I told a friend about what happens to me, thinking it had to be some type of sensitivity. I had the sugar substitute, and in spite of my warnings and graphic descriptions, she decided to take her chances and take them off my hands. Silly woman. All of the same for her, and a phone call from her while on the toilet, because you kinda end up living in the bathroom for a spell, telling me she really wished she would have listened. I think she was crying. Her sister was skeptical and suspected that we were exaggerating. She took them to work since there was still 99% of a 5-pound bag left. She works for a construction company where there are builders, roofers, house painters, landscapers, etc. Lots of people who generally have limited access to toilets on a given day. I can't imagine where all those poor men and women poop that day. I keep envisioning men on roofs crossing their legs and trying to decide if they can make it down the ladder, or if they should just jump. If you order these, best of luck to you, and please don't post a video review during the aftershocks. P.S. When I ordered these, the warnings and disclaimers and legalese were not posted. I'm not a moron. Also, not sure why so many people assume I'm a man. I'm a woman. We poop too. Of course, our poop sparkles and smells like a walk-in meadow of wildflowers. Thanks for all the great comments. I've been enjoying reading them, and so glad that the horror show I experienced from snacking on these has at least made some people smile. Oh my god. Drinking vanilla extract. Smells so good, but tastes so bad. The one time I got punched by a gorilla is probably going to remain the only time that ever happens in my life. I just can't imagine lining up that one again. Sounds like there's a story there. Went trekking to see the wild mountain gorillas in Uganda, which is definitely up there as one of the most coolest things I've done. You must stay a minimum distance away from them at all times, but turns out there's no equivalent if they want to come check you out. And, well, it turns out there was a teenage male in the group I was seeing named Obai. Obai means punchy in the local language because he was a teenage male who, like teenage males of many species, like to play the game, I punch you, you punch me back. So, Obai came over to me so quick I couldn't do a thing and punched me in the gut. A play punch to see if I wanted to play. So honestly, the Rangers dragging me off hurt more, lest he think I really wanted to play the game. All told, a cool experience I've never expected to have. Man dies after secret 4-year battle with gorilla. What? According to his wife, a secret battle with a gorilla. Unpaid internships. Fuck that shit. But in 10 to 15 years, you can get paid minimum wage to do it. Isn't that reward enough? My wife sticking her finger up my asshole while she was blowing me. We got really drunk one night, and she was rimming me out, also a first, and it was fucking awesome. So we thought, hey, maybe this ass stuff is for us. It's not. At least, not her finger up inside my anus like she's checking for plumps while I'm trying to shoot a load of babies down her throat. Thank you for Redditing. It's literally the least I can do. Chasing a shot of tequila with milk. I think this is the first response I can we all take lessons to. It's so hot. Milk was a bad choice. What the fuck is wrong with you? Wait, chasing a shot of tequila with milk. I don't drink, so I don't know what the negative connotations for that are. Drinking 5 shots of absinthe in less than an hour. I only aimed for 3. The other 2 were a dare. What a wonderful idea that was. I ended up wandering the streets of Paraguay alone late at night. I eventually passed out at a bus shelter for a few hours, waking up from time to time only to vomit and tell myself never again. Somehow I'm still alive and was not robbed or assaulted. Everyone at my hostel who saw me the next day and knew what I'd done all exclaimed a variant of, "Oh my god, you're still alive, thank god." I recently completed the Centurion Challenge. It's 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes. They were 45 milligram shot glasses, and I was vomiting by the end. I'll mark it down as an accomplishment, but I doubt I'll be doing that again. What? Sounds like a good way to get alcohol poisoning. I punched the girl in the face when I was in kindergarten because she slapped me repeatedly. Absolutely nothing good came out of it and will never happen again. Most people do kindergarten once as well as you know. Let's see. Thinking, wouldn't it be a great idea to put a tissue over a candle while at someone's house? What? Why would you do that? I cannot believe I'm the only person who has done this. For some completely inexplicable reason, I did this when I was a kid. I just thought, I wonder what would, and then I suddenly had a handful of mild lotion-scented fires. What did I do? Well, I did what anyone would do. You don't want it in your hand. I threw it away. Yep, tossed the ball into the kitchen garbage can, starting a nice hobo bonfire. The room began to fill with smoke and a lovely melting plastic smell. I knew I needed to put the fire out, but my mother was asleep in the next room and I couldn't risk waking her. I decided it was best to act natural. I climbed up on the counter and retrieved a small plastic cup from the cabinet, then took it to the fridge water dispenser and casually filled it. Then I poured it into the flaming garbage can, fully expecting the 8 ounces of water to rid me of this problem completely. It did not. I think I was on the 4th cup of water when my mother came around the corner screaming. I did this as a kid too, but I had the opposite reaction. I was so terrified that I burned down my house that if I dropped it down, then I just held it onto it and I ran around screaming. Fortunately, tissues burnt up pretty fast, so I got away with the only mild burns and some serious discomfort for a week or so. Went to help my grandparents with their yard. Got bit by a black widow. No thank you. I believe you mean African American widow. Trying a soda called Beverly. Jesus fuck, never again. Cave exploring. Not the kind with a tour guide on a tram. Crawling deep into mountains with amateurs and a foresty major. It begins and ends with going through a sea of baths and lots of intermittent terror in between. The last place in the world you'd want to get injured, and that can happen very easily. Have you ever heard of this story? Oh my god. He got stuck. What? Crew struggles to free trapped caver. Poor guy was stuck in a tube upside down for many hours and finally died before they were able to extract him. I'm having a mild panic attack just thinking about it. Did you see the cross section in the lower right hand corner? Nope. What? So like that was his feet right there, and that's as much. What? A series of pulleys was anchored to the. Why would you crawl in that? Crew struggled to free trapped caver. Exploring Nutty Putty Cave for the first time on November 24, 2009, John Jones becomes trapped upside down when he wriggled headfirst into a narrow, unmapped tunnel of the cave. Search and rescue crews worked for 26 hours to free him, but the shape of the crevice where John was trapped became one of their biggest obstacles. The narrow crack split almost straight down, so when the crews tried to pull John out, his feet hit the tunnel's low ceiling. Pulling him backwards could break his legs, the shock of which could prove fatal as John suffered the effects of being upside down. Using pulleys to rescue John. To reduce the friction of the rope on the rock, rescuers drilled a series of pulleys into the cave walls, then strung the rope with each one out. Outside the tunnels, crews pulled the rope through yet more pulleys arranged to increase their pulling power. A search and rescue volunteer squeezed his way through a reinforced tunnel of Nutty Putty, one of many tightly passages in the cave, where John Jones was trapped. Of the 137 people who joined the rescue efforts, only a few could squeeze down the narrow tunnel, no bigger than the opening of a washing machine. Rescue attempt. John Jones, 26, was crawling headfirst when he got stuck in a tiny, unmapped tunnel deep inside Nutty Putty Cave. John became trapped upside down, with fluids pooling dangerously in his head and lungs. Rescuers also had to deal with difficulties. Wow, this guy's dumb. That sounds like a terrible place to get stuck. Oh my god. Think about this. 4 cave divers like scuba divers exploring caves. 1 return divers 1 and 2 make it through. Diver 3 gets stuck trapping diver number 4. Diver 1 and 2 don't have enough oxygen to stay and help them to leave them behind. Divers 3 and 4 have to stay trapped until they run out of oxygen. That is the most panic-inducing thing I can think about. Wow. Masturbating with/in front of another guy. Not in a hot tub or anything, but a friend of mine suggested it because he wanted to try it with someone he trusted. My philosophy is don't knock it until you've tried it. Jesus, there are a few times I've been more uncomfortable than that. Never again. Why? Edit, for clarification, we weren't servicing each other, but servicing ourselves in front of each other. Edit 2, copy pasta for a response below. The philosophy only really applies if no harm is done to anyone in the process. If someone gets hurt in the process, the philosophy does not hold. There are exceptions to the philosophy. Things I know I absolutely do not want to try, regardless of the reassurance given to me. But even then, just because I don't want to do it / try something doesn't mean I'll hold it against someone who does. On the whole, it's been a good attitude towards exploring / trying new things. Pregnancy / childbirth. I love my son. I'm not doing that shit again. Taking a Greyhound bus from Tucson, Arizona to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I think, to see my fiancé. It was a 48-hour trip, which actually wasn't too bad until we were almost in Atlanta. I was sleeping pretty heavily until I woke up to lips on my face, a hand on my breast, and a hand between my legs. Suffice to say, I was pretty shaken up. The man kind of stalked me through the Atlanta bus station afterwards until I let one of the attendants know what was going on. I'm not sure what happened after that. I broke down in my fiancé's arms the night I saw him. I just felt so gross and disgusted. Oh, ow. Whew, it sucks to be hurt. Poor girl. Being blackout drunk and waking up to a place you don't remember being at. I would want to try this only once, with a recording of what happened out of pure curiosity of all the stories to tell. There won't be much to tell, and it's never fun learning about what you did. I was 12 years old, and at a party. Some guy who had a crush on me for years kept harassing me to give him his first kiss. He eventually guilt-tripped me into doing it. It was terrible and pathetic, and sadly my first kiss as well. Never kiss that guy again, and never let myself get guilt-tripped into anything by a guy ever again. I was taking a pig butchering class when we accidentally killed a pregnant sow. Because we all felt so bad about it, we decided the best way to honor it would be not to waste any part of the pig. We barbecued the fetuses and fried the placenta. When we had our big feast, I tried one of the fetuses. It had no muscles yet, so the meat was just jelly-like nastiness. After that, I was unable to try the placenta. Never will I eat an unborn fetus of an animal. Ugh. Good thing work is over because I'm fucking done with the internet for today. Damn it, man. Watching a Siberian film. Having friends with benefits. As much as you can go ahead with the idea of having no strings attached, it will end up eroding the friendship that brought you guys together in the first place. Be careful. I don't know about you, but it's especially bad if that friend used to be your significant other. I dated a girl for a while, then we broke up, and a few months later got physical again, but she wasn't interested in a relationship. Then she decided she was interested in a relationship, just not with me. We remained friends with benefits, which was shitty. Cave diving. Finding out you have a mild case of claustrophobia under 15 meters of water in a cave without any natural light or air pockets is not fun. I was panicking big time. As a result, I absolutely burned right through my oxygen and got even more scared, which caused me to burn my oxygen even faster. Nope, not gonna do it again. Vegemite. It's like all of Australia is pulling a prank on us. Spread it thinly, it's not Nutella. Skydiving. In a wheelchair now. So, are you in a wheelchair because of a skydiving accident? Oh, I am going to assume he was. I may get a point to try foods again, even ones I've had before I know I didn't like. I figure tastes change and preparation methods differ, so occasionally I find some new favorite foods this way. This habit has served me well. I tried lutefisk once. Never again. That shit is beyond vile. Anal. Felt the same after 5 minutes. Got poop in my dick. No thanks. Gross. Skiing. I went up on a bus trip during high school. I had never had a lesson or anything, but was with 2 more experienced friends. They got us on the wrong lift, and instead of going down the bunny slope the first time, we found ourselves at the top of the double black diamond. I biffed hard, immediately, and scooted down the entire mountain on my butt. By the time I got to the bottom, horrendous flu symptoms were overwhelming me. It turned out to be altitude sickness. I spent the day with my head down on a table in a cafeteria until the bus was ready to leave. Dude, never ski/board as a beginner with experienced friends. They will never teach you, and they will hate you for slowing them down. I recommend trying it again, as they are both amazing. Take a private lessons. It's worth it. Cheap box dry white wine. The most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. Getting properly drunk. 3 Smirnoff double blacks and 3 ciders in an hour. I couldn't taste the alcohol. I ended up yelling at my closest friends for an hour, then crying in a corner for the next 2. 2 CB. It was just fun, just not for me. 2 CB. I don't know what that means. A co-ed baby shower. Had liver and onions once. The metallic taste combined with the texture of pudding is a sensation I will not be entertaining again. Bletch. Morphine. I got so fucking high. At first it was cool. I was having all these hallucinations every time I closed my eyes. They started off nice. It felt like I was in a video game, with a cool video game music and everything. Slowly, my trip got worse and worse. I started seeing the darkest shit you could imagine. Dead babies, mass graves, some really bad shit. I will never fuck with morphine again. Well, eating a bowline cube. Cube? I don't know what that is. I was a kid, and it looked like candy. Never again. Smoking weed. I don't see the big deal about it, and all it made me do was feel a little sick and then eat all of my motherfucking Triscuits instead of saving them for work where I enjoy snacking on them. Fuck you, weed. You made me rape my Triscuits. On holiday in Cyprus. And at the bar on our first night, the waitress came over to our tables with 2 shots and said, "Welcome to Cyprus." As soon as the shot hit my stomach, it came right back up and I threw up in my hands. First and last time drinking a Sambuca. I love Sambuca, but that's really more of an Italian thing. Shrooms. Maybe I wasn't the right headspace, but my anxiety definitely got the best of me, and I was stuck in a thought loop. Also, everything was too bright. Being born. Not Hindu then. No reincarnation for you. Oops. I scroll all the way up and then it just goes back to the bottom.